So once again, we see our unit kind of relying on and finding this incredible unity that saves the day. It's great to see it pay off in such a spectacular way, although very quickly it kind of turns against them. By this point, we see Raelle more in control of this witch bomb than she ever has been before. It proves not to be enough to get the final job done, but at the same time, it's an evolution in Raelle's ability to control this thing. Abigail may have surpassed Gem Bellwether at this point in terms of her control of this really complicated working by which multiple tornadoes are sort of braided together in this stunning and terrifying way. Abigail's done with status quo reaction to the Camarilla, and she really, really needs to take direct action. And she needs to sort of be in charge of her own safety and survival. And she presents this to her mother in no uncertain terms. And I think Petra actually turns in that scene and begins to say, you know what can I do to support you? Which is such an exciting change.
Ending the season, Abigail has come back into her full Bellwether self. She's finally able to do the Gem Bellwether working with her own capability. I feel like she brought a layer of herself into it, and the only thing she was missing the whole season is, believing in herself, and she got that confidence back. I don't think Abigail really knew what she was capable of in terms of weather work. She's now becoming aware of, the things she can do, the tornadoes she can braid together. And I think reading Jim's journal opened up so many things for her in that moment. She's opening up and she's addressed her demons and she has that confidence back. So I think it's gonna be a cool road from here.
Tally was really instrumental in taking Alder down, and we even see her express some doubt and regret about what she's done. But I think Tally knows in her heart that this change had to happen.
The journey has come full circle. And I think Tally, through this entire 2 seasons, has really been so focused on change and liberating the truth that she didn't stop to consider the cost of that change actually coming about. And it really does beg the question, now what? It reminds me of what Nicta says just prior to getting onto the bus, and she's like, this is what you wanted, remember? And Tally's like, what, death, destruction, the collapse of everything we know? And Nicta's like, revolution.
I think for all witches, and this is army witches and spree witches and dodger witches, I think the issue now is that there are these people that are trying to end us. And they're very organized and funded, and they have incredible weaponry. So I think that is at the forefront of everybody's mind right now, kind of across the board, across Witchhood itself. We might have had our petty squabbles throughout history, but let's deal with the people that are trying to wipe us out.
Is she the source? Penelope?
In Tally, we see her incredible sight helping out once again. It's through this sight that Tally is able to find the source of the witch plague, which in this case is adorable Penelope. Our unit makes the impossible, terrible, tragic, but correct decision to take her out in order to save the rest of the base.
I believe Tally has always found it easier in some ways to sacrifice her life for the life of another or for the life of thousands. But the decision to sacrifice somebody else, that is one of those choices that will probably haunt her for the rest of her life.
It's a tough decision to make, but it's a necessary one. She can choose to be a martyr to her situation and mourn the loss of her friend, or she can keep going with the knowledge that she saved thousands of lives.
I think she's just really still having to come to terms with how to do that, how to carry that burden. And that's probably something that Alder could have taught her. But alas, she's now gonna have to figure it out by herself. And maybe Nictor will, be her next mentor. Somebody who's made some really hard choices and who's managed to still sleep at night.
The Camarilla have really never been stronger. They are a half an inch away from the President of the United States. They have infiltrated law enforcement, local government. They have a movement that they hide behind to stir up hatred against witches. They're doing really well. Silver's messed up. You can think of what he did in sacrificing Penelope and allowing the Camarilla to use Penelope's body as the source of the plague. You can think of it as the ultimate gang initiation. And in that spooky scene in the airplane, we see Hearst acknowledging what Silver has done and promising what they will do in return for him. They're going to be a formidable foe next year, but you should also worry for them a little bit too.
I'll be paying a visit to Abigail and her little friend from the Tarim before the night is over. The union of earth and sky must be prevented at all costs.
So we know that the Camarilla is very interested in Abigail's family. We know that they are very interested in Adil's people. We know that Abigail is very good at weather work, sky, right? And we know that Adil is very good at earthwork. And so whatever's going to happen when that union is sort of fully operational, the Camarilla wants desperately to avoid. So we know from season 1 that Alders' very health and vitality are connected to Fort Salem in ways that are magical and deep. And so when Alders steps down, when she takes down, she takes her bars off and she is later attacked, we see Fort Salem more vulnerable than it ever has been. Meanwhile, other military bases across the world were attacked in the same way with witch plagues. So it's the first volley in a very, very terrible war.
I don't understand how she's holding on. She's too stubborn to die.
Alder is literally kind of a molecule away from dying. She's just on the edge. And she knows, and she makes the request, she wants to be put into the mausoleum as her final resting place.
Shooting the scene where we push Alder or Lynn into the mausoleum is, it was very emotional. It was tough.
We were very nervous to play that scene, but I think when we all got together on the day and the first AD before shooting that scene went, guys, this is the last scene of the season, we all just went, we were crying.
It was beautiful, but it was hard. It was painful because we don't want to leave each other. We have this whole family.
We were sobbing in between takes because it's such an emotional scene, and then it was at the end of the season, and it's been such a challenging and beautiful and intense journey this season. So we were a hot mess.
We wanted to do the scene justice and to have Alder's send-off be as glorious as she is as a character. She's a force.
For this woman who is almost goddess-like in her power to be brought down to that moment of mortality is so sort of humbling and moving.
The first time I found out about the ending of this season was when the writers called me, all the writers who have written this season, and they talk you through episode per episode and give you a glance into what is going to happen with your character. And we were going through 1, 2, 3, 4, making our way to 10. And I remember Eliot saying, kind of like jokingly, he goes, so now we get to 10 and you die. And when he said that, I literally fell off my chair. But then, of course, they explained to me deeper what that would be. And for me, it's a rebirth. It's almost Alder becoming full. So I never saw it as an ending, more of Alder's completion and becoming one with nature, with that mycelium. She's going to get stronger because we find her in a healing process. Now, what that will mean and which form that will take on, we don't know. There's ideas about that, but I think we are left with the idea and the hope that that entity is not fully gone. I have this image in my mind that she does come back. I don't know. I don't know. I have many ideas, but I don't know.
What do I hope for Tally? Oh, that chapter 3 be hopefully a return to joy. And that she, as Alders said, that she may not, may she not forget that she is only human. And that keep her humble and keep her hungry for the right reasons.
What I hope is coming next. I mean, realistically, they're on the run, so maybe a fun disguise. Maybe they can hide somewhere warm. Cuba? Eliot? I hope that they take out the Camarilla and Rael and Scylla live on a little witch farm with a million little witch babies, and they own pet ducks.
I hope Abigail is the change that she wants to see in the world. Going through so many of these life lessons, she has a new perspective. And I feel like she wants to be the change, and she wants to make a change, and she wants to make the world right. I know she's going to try and be that leader and encourage people to be the change in the world as well.
But I'm so excited to see the world expand past the walls of Fort Salem.
So because of this prison break executed by Quinn and Scylla and Adil and Khalida, our unit and Nikta are now on the run. They're fugitives in an America that is changing in dramatic, dangerous ways. I think Nikta will be a protector for our unit. Nobody knows more than Nikta about staying lost. So I think she could be particularly useful as our unit disappears into the session and lives the lives of fugitives.
Here we go.